comforting things to hear when you're feeling uneasy. Waking up earlier than your alarm is set to go off and having an extra phantom hour or two of sleep before you need to get up. The distant childhood memory of falling asleep in your parents' car on their long nights driving home. Then waking up as you arrived at your house but still pretending to be asleep so your dad would carry you to your bed. You were once small enough to be carried to your bed. You might still be small enough to be carried to your bed. Playing Pokemon Blue on your Game Boy on said drive home. Using the brief flashes of passing streetlights to see your screen even just for a moment. The sound of the word serendipity. The definition of the word serendipity. Finding joy and beauty in unexpected places. Dogs exist. Nobody's thinking about that really embarrassing thing you did that keeps you up at night. Everyone's too busy thinking about the really embarrassing thing they did that keeps them up at night. That strange muffled silence when it has snowed in a usually bustling and noisy place. And then focusing your hearing on specific things like your Wellington boot pressing into the untouched snow. The feeling of breathing again through your nose after a week-long cold. Napping in the afternoon, but for just the right amount of time. Not so much that you feel like you've wasted the day, but just enough to make you feel like you've recharged. The satisfying clacking of a keyboard with mechanical keys. How many C's and K's there were in that sentence. When you strip away all the scientific facts, Pluto is just an insignificant rock floating in space 4.5 billion miles away. Yet, there are still debates going on about what kind of insignificant floating rock we want to classify it as. 4.5 billion miles away. Stepping in a wet patch in the kitchen and then immediately changing your socks to a fresh new pair. The realization that you do not need to wear matching socks, it's just feet, who cares? You share a birthday with millions of people and animals all around the world, and you've most likely crossed paths with some of them as well. After taking a bite of popping candy chocolate and you sit there with your mouth agape listening to the unnatural fizzling ticking sound. A period of time in your life where you didn't understand how reflective surfaces worked, so when you looked into the tall vertical mirror in your hallway, you thought about how amazing it would be to step through into a world where everything was backwards. This was a legitimate thought I had as a child. This was a legitimate thought I had as a child. The legend that was Bob Ross, his calming voice, all his beautiful paintings, and his squirrels. The sound of the heating firing up and rattling the cold pipes in your apartment during the winter, knowing you'll be warm soon. When your favourite place to go out and eat introduces sweet potato fries to the menu, that's just a personal thing to me. I don't think anyone else cares about that. Magikarp is considered the most useless Pokemon, but through persistence and hard work, it becomes an enormous flying sea serpent, then capable of becoming a dragon. It's just a good thing to remember when you feel like you can't do something. When you're feeling wildly unoriginal, there's this game you can play where you try to think of a sentence that has never been thought by anyone ever in history. You piece it together with any variation of unusual words and ideas until you're satisfied that there is 0% chance that anybody has ever thought about this series of words in this order before. With how vast and unending the universe seems to be, there absolutely has to be another form of life somewhere out there, no matter how minuscule it might be. You are valid. This has been my list of comforting things to hear when you're feeling uneasy. I hope it helped. Thank you for watching. The end.